They thought you would stay quiet. They thought you would stay small. They thought your silence meant weakness. But silence was never surrender. It was preparation. It was observation. It was the calm before something they never expected. You did not change overnight. You changed slowly, painfully, privately, and that is why it shocked them. When the shift happened, it was real, it was earned, it was irreversible. Behind your back, conversations were happening, plans were being drawn, lines were being crossed, smiles were worn in front of you, while doubt was fed behind you. They assumed you would never notice because you were too busy surviving. They assumed your kindness was confusion. They assumed your patience was fear. They assumed wrong, because while they were planning your limits, you were building your strength, brick by brick. You lived in that phase where nothing made sense, where effort felt invisible, where progress felt imaginary. You questioned yourself more than anyone else ever did. You replayed moments wondering if you were enough, wondering if you missed your chance, wondering if this was all life had for you. And still, you woke up, you showed up, you kept going, not loudly, not perfectly, but consistently. And that consistency rewrote everything. If you are feeling this right now, pause for a second. Breathe this in, because if this message is hitting you, it means you are still here. It means you did not quit. It means your story is not finished. And if this resonates with you, take a moment to support this journey. Tap, like if you felt this in your chest. Subscribe if you want to grow stronger with every message. And write a comment, not for anyone else, but for yourself, because your voice matters more than you think. They never saw the nights where you doubted everything. They never saw the mornings where getting out of bed felt like lifting the world. They never saw the discipline it took to stay focused when nobody clapped for you. They only saw the version of you that fit their expectations. And that is why they miscalculated. They planned for the old you, the version that no longer exists. You stopped explaining yourself. You stopped chasing approval. You stopped begging to be understood. And the moment you did that, something powerful happened. Your energy came back. Your focus sharpened. Your standards rose. You realized you do not need permission to become more. You do not need validation to evolve. You do not need applause to move forward. They planned for your fear, but you chose courage. They planned for your delay, but you chose action. They planned for your doubt, but you chose belief. Not loud belief, not fake, confidence, but the quiet, unshakable kind that grows when you keep promises to yourself. When you do what you said you would do, even when no one is watching. You learn that growth is not always visible. Sometimes it looks like rest. Sometimes it looks like silence. Sometimes it looks like walking away from things that drain you. And while they mistook your stillness for stagnation, you were actually resetting your direction. You were sharpening your mind. You were strengthening your resolve. There is a moment when everything shifts. It is not dramatic. It does not come with noise. It comes with clarity. You realize you are done being underestimated. You are done shrinking to fit into spaces that cannot hold you. You are done carrying weight that was never yours. And in that moment, you do not announce it. You move differently. Your habits changed. Your boundaries changed. Your circle changed. You became more selective with your time because you finally understood its value. You stopped giving energy to people who only show up when it benefits them. You stopped proving yourself to those who already decided who you were without knowing you. They planned for you to break under pressure, but pressure revealed your strength. It revealed your patience, your discipline, your ability to adapt. You learned how to turn pain into progress. You learned how to turn setbacks into lessons. You learned how to stand alone without feeling lonely. This is not about revenge. This is about evolution. This is about becoming so aligned with your purpose that their opinions lose power. This is about success, being the loudest response. Without you ever saying a word, you do not need to expose what they did. Time exposes everything. You began to trust yourself again. That was the real turning point, when you stopped outsourcing your worth, when you stopped asking everyone else what you should do, when you started listening to that quiet voice inside that always knew the way. You followed it even when it scared you. They planned for you to stay the same. But growth does not ask for permission. It shows up when effort meets resilience. It shows up when discipline meets vision. It shows up when you decide that your future matters more than your comfort. You learn to move in silence, not because you were afraid, but because you were focused. You learned that not everyone deserves access to your plans. You learned that privacy is power. And when the results started showing, it confused them because they never saw it coming. The days you wanted to quit but did not, those days changed you. The times you failed and still tried again. Those moments shaped you, the sacrifices you made when no one understood. Those choices defined you, and now when they look at you, they do not recognize the person you have become. You are not lucky, you are prepared. You are not gifted, you are disciplined. You are not ahead, you are committed. The distance between who you were and who you are now is filled with effort, consistency, and courage. They planned behind your back because they did not believe in your front. They underestimated your capacity to grow. They underestimated your patience to endure. They underestimated your will to rise, and that underestimation became your advantage. Now you walk with a different presence. You speak with intention. You listen more than you talk. You choose your battles wisely. You no longer react, you respond. And that calm, that confidence, that control, it unsettles those who expected you to fail. You understand now that not everyone who smiles with you stands with you. And that awareness did not make you bitter. It made you wiser. You stopped taking things personally. You stopped carrying other people's expectations. You focused on what you can control and let the rest fall away. This version of you is built, not given, earned, not borrowed, tested, not imagined. You did not wake up one day and become strong. You became strong by surviving days you thought would break you. And the best part is, you are just getting started. The growth does not stop here. The vision does not end here. The discipline does not fade here. Because now you know what you are capable of, and that knowledge cannot be taken from you. They can talk, they can doubt, they can plan, but they cannot stop someone who refuses to quit. They cannot control someone who believes in themselves. They cannot predict someone who has learned how to adapt. You are no longer reacting to the past. You are building the future. You are no longer explaining your pain. You are embodying your power. You are no longer waiting to be chosen. You chose yourself. Remember this feeling. Hold on to it. On the days it gets heavy, on the days it feels slow, on the days you wonder if it is worth it, come back to this moment and remind yourself, you already proved them wrong once, and you can do it again. This is what they planned behind your back, and this is what you did. You rose quietly. You worked relentlessly. You changed completely, and they never saw it coming. And now the silence around you feels different. It is not empty anymore. It is full. It is heavy with purpose. It is calm with certainty. You are not rushing to prove anything, because the proof is already forming in your daily actions. You wake up knowing why you move. You go to sleep knowing you did not waste the day. That alone separates you from who you used to be. There was a time when you waited for signs from the outside. A message, a moment, someone noticing. Now you understand the real signal is internal. It is when excuses stop sounding convincing. It is when comfort starts feeling dangerous. It is when staying the same feels more painful than changing. That is when you knew there was no going back. They remember the version of you that hesitated, the one that overthought, the one that gave chances too easily. They do not realize that version taught you everything you needed to know. It taught you boundaries. It taught you awareness. It taught you strength. Through contrast, you had to be that person to become this one. You stopped romanticizing struggle. You stopped calling chaos passion. You chose structure. You chose clarity. You chose discipline. Even on days motivation never showed up, and that choice repeated quietly every day became your edge. Now when something does not align, you feel it immediately. You do not ignore it. You do not justify it. You step away without guilt because protecting your peace is no longer optional. It is necessary for the future you are building. They thought your heart would harden, but it did not. It sharpened. You became compassionate without being careless. You became kind without being weak. You learned that strength and softness can exist together, and that balance is rare. You no longer chase closure. You no longer need explanations. You understood that some chapters end without answers, and clarity sometimes comes from acceptance, not confrontation. You left some doors closed, not because you were afraid to open them, but because you knew what was behind them. Every loss taught you something. Every delay redirected you. Every disappointment refined you. Nothing was wasted. Even the moments that felt pointless, even the days you felt invisible, they were shaping your endurance. You are moving with intention now. You measure your words, you honor your time, you respect your energy. You no longer laugh at things that disrespect you. You no longer stay silent to keep peace that costs you your self-respect. And here is what really changed. You stopped waiting for confidence to act. You acted and confidence followed. You stopped waiting for permission to grow. You grew and permission became irrelevant. They planned based on who you were when you were unsure. They never planned for who you would become once you decided. They did not expect you to choose discipline over distraction. They did not expect you to walk alone without complaining. They did not expect you to keep going without applause. Your focus scares people now, not because it is aggressive, but because it is steady. You are not everywhere. You are not loud. You are consistent. And consistency is threatening to those who rely on shortcuts. You understand now that most people talk about change. Few commit to it. You committed. You showed up on days no one saw. You did the work when results were far away. You trusted the process when doubt was loud. There is a calm in you that did not exist before, a grounded confidence that does not need to announce itself. You do not rush conversations. You do not rush decisions. You let things reveal themselves, and when they do, you respond with clarity. You are not chasing validation. You are building value. You are not trying to be liked. You are focused on becoming capable. And that shift changed everything. They might never admit they were wrong. They might never acknowledge your growth, and that is fine, because your life does not require their recognition. Your progress does not need their approval. You know, now that power is quiet, power is choice, power is self-control, power is walking away. When your old self would have stayed, and every time you do that, you reinforce the person you are becoming. You are not motivated by proving them wrong anymore. You are motivated by honoring the effort you've already put in. You refuse to waste the sacrifices. You refuse to betray the discipline. You refuse to return to a version of yourself that you worked so hard to outgrow. And there will be days ahead that test you. New challenges, new doubts, new resistance. But you are different now. You do not panic. You prepare. You do not collapse. You adjust. You do not quit. You evolve. Remember this. They planned for a version of you that no longer exists, and you built a version they cannot control. That is the real victory. That is the real change. That is what they never saw coming. And something else shifted that only you noticed. You stopped arguing with reality. You stopped wishing things were easier. You accepted what is and started shaping what could be. That acceptance did not weaken you. It grounded you. It gave you clarity. It gave you momentum. You no longer measure progress by applause. You measure it by alignment, by how calm your mind is, by how focused your days feel, by how little chaos controls your decisions. You realize peace is not passive. It is earned through discipline and honesty with yourself. There was a time you reacted emotionally to everything. A comment, a delay, a silence. Now you pause, you observe. You choose your reactions no longer control your direction. And that control became your quiet strength. You stopped telling everyone your dreams, not because they were small, but because they were fragile. You protected them. You nurtured them in silence. You let action speak. Instead, and while others talked, you built. Your tolerance for nonsense dropped. Your respect for your own time increased. You understood that every yes cost you something, and you became careful with what you agreed to, because your future depends on your choices, not your intentions. They still see pieces of the old you sometimes. A familiar smile, a familiar tone, and they assume nothing changed. They do not see the standards behind your decisions. They do not see the boundaries behind your calm. They do not see the discipline behind your confidence. You learn that healing does not mean forgetting. It means remembering without pain. It means carrying lessons without carrying weight. And that freedom allowed you to move faster, lighter, stronger. There are moments now when you look back and barely recognize who you were. And instead of shame, you feel respect. Respect for surviving. Respect for enduring. Respect for not giving up when it would have been easier to disappear. You understand now that timing matters, that rushing ruins growth, that patience compounds results. You stopped forcing outcomes. You focused on effort, and outcomes started following naturally. You are no longer afraid of being misunderstood. You realize most people only understand from their own level, and you stopped shrinking to be digestible. You became authentic instead. The road ahead is still long, and you know that you are not chasing an ending. You are building a process, a lifestyle, a standard. And that mindset keeps you steady, even when things get hard. They planned based on noise, gossip, assumptions. You moved based on vision, discipline, truth. And that difference is everything, because vision lasts longer than opinion. You are not perfect. You still have days where doubt whispers, but doubt no longer leads. It follows, and you acknowledge it without obeying it. That is growth. Your presence now carries weight, not because you demand attention, but because you respect yourself. People feel that energy does not lie. Consistency does not lie. Results do not lie. You are becoming someone who finishes what they start. Someone who does not fold under pressure. Someone who keeps their word to themselves. And that integrity is changing your life more than any external success ever could. So keep going, even when it feels quiet, especially when it feels quiet, because silence is where foundations are built, and foundations decide how high you rise. They can keep guessing, they can keep assuming, but you will keep building, and one day, the difference will be undeniable. This is not luck. This is work. This is patience. This is growth, and this is only the beginning. And as you keep moving forward, you start noticing how differently you carry yourself. Your walk is steadier, your eyes are calmer, your thoughts are clearer. You are no longer desperate for outcomes. You are committed to effort, and that commitment is shaping everything around you. You stopped asking why it happened to you and started asking what it taught you. That single shift turned pain into information, struggle into training, and setbacks into guidance. You are no longer offended by obstacles. You expect them. You respect them because you know they are part of the process. There was a time when being alone scared you. Now you value it. Solitude became your reset, your planning space, your honesty zone. You met yourself there, without distractions, without masks. And that meeting changed your direction. You no longer confuse attention with respect. You no longer confuse noise with progress. You learned that real growth is often boring, repetitive, quiet, and you stayed anyway. That patience is rare. That patience is powerful. They thought distance would weaken you, but distance strengthened your focus. They thought isolation would slow you down, but it removed distractions. They thought pressure would crush you, but it sharpened you. Now when challenges appear, you do not take them personally. You take them professionally. You analyze, you adjust, you act. You understand that emotions are information, not commands, and that control gives you an edge most people never develop. You stopped replaying old conversations. You stopped wishing you said something differently. You made peace with the past because you realized it cannot be edited, only learned from. And that acceptance freed massive energy. Your goals are clearer now, not because life became easier, but because you became more honest. You know what you want, and just as importantly, you know what you are no longer willing to tolerate. That clarity is priceless. You are not trying to outrun anyone. You are not comparing timelines. You are focused on direction, and direction beats speed every single time. Some days still feel heavy, some mornings still require effort, but the difference is you trust yourself now. You trust that even on slow days you are still moving. You trust that consistency will carry you where motivation cannot. They might still whisper, they might still doubt, but their voices are distant now, almost irrelevant, because the loudest voice in your life is finally your own, and it is disciplined, not emotional. It is focused, not fearful. You understand now that confidence is built through evidence, and you are stacking evidence daily by showing up, by following through, by not quitting when it gets uncomfortable. You're becoming someone who can be relied on, someone who does not fold when things get uncertain, someone who stays grounded when things go well. And that balance is building real power. So when you look ahead, do not rush it, do not force it. Keep building, keep refining, keep choosing growth over comfort, because what you are creating is bigger than a moment. It is a standard. They planned for your limits. You discovered your depth. They planned for your hesitation. You mastered your patience. They planned for your silence. And that silence turned into strength. And one day, without announcement, without explanation, they will see it, the difference, the distance, the growth. And by then, you will already be too focused to notice. Keep going. Stay steady. Stay honest with yourself. This is not the end. This is the continuation of everything you earned. So here's the truth at the end of it all. This journey was never about them. It was never about what they planned, what they said, or what they expected. That was just background noise. The real story was always about you meeting yourself at your lowest and deciding not to stay there. You did not rise because circumstances changed. You rose because you changed. You chose responsibility over excuses, awareness over denial, discipline over comfort. And those choices compounded quietly, until the gap between who you were and who you are became. The game of manipulation. They thought they had you, didn't they? Like a puppet on strings, dancing to their twisted tune. They relished in their ability to twist your mind, to toy with your emotions, to make you question your worth. They thought they had all the power, that you were too weak, too naive, too vulnerable to ever escape their grasp. But here you stand, unbroken, unbowed, and no longer their pawn. They believed they could shape you, mold you, break you, and then rebuild you into someone who served their purpose. They thought you'd always be there, following the script they wrote for you, living the life they designed for you, never questioning, never rebelling, just blindly following, like a drone, like an object meant to be controlled. But what they didn't see, what they failed to realize in their arrogance, was that there is a fire within you, a strength they couldn't see, couldn't understand. A strength that over time began to grow until it became something they could no longer control. You were never as fragile as they thought. You were never as weak as they believed. They underestimated the depth of your resilience, the strength of your spirit. They thought they could keep you in a cage of their creation, but the door to that cage was never truly locked. You were always free, always capable of breaking out of their lies and manipulation. They thought you were their possession, but in reality, you were simply playing a part, biding your time until the moment came for you to break free. The manipulation they used against you, the lies they told, the tricks they played, it all had a purpose for them. It was never about you. It was about their own need for control, their need to feel powerful, to feel important. They made you feel small, insignificant, unworthy, just to inflate their own sense of superiority. They tore you down piece by piece, convincing you that you weren't enough, that you were broken beyond repair. And for a while, you believed it. You questioned your own value. You doubted your own strength. You let their words, their actions, seep into your soul. But something happened, didn't it? Somewhere deep inside, a realization dawned. You began to see through their lies. You started to understand the manipulation for what it was. A desperate attempt to keep you under control. They didn't have power over you. They never did. You were always the one with the power. They tried to break you, but instead, they made you stronger. With every word they spoke, with every action they took to undermine you, they were forging a new version of you, a version that was stronger, wiser, and ready to stand tall. You learned over time how to recognize their tactics. You learned how to see through their false promises, their empty words. You became immune to their gaslighting, their guilt trips, their emotional manipulation. You began to see that the only power they had over you was the power you gave them. You were not weak, you were simply unaware. You were not fragile, you were just trusting. And once you opened your eyes, once you recognized the game they were playing, everything changed. They can't manipulate you anymore. They can't twist your mind. They can't control your emotions. They can't make you feel small. They are powerless now. And now, as you stand in the aftermath of their manipulation, they feel defeated. They feel the sting of their own failure. They see that their tactics no longer work, that their words have lost their power. They thought they could break you, but they failed. They thought they could control you, but they were wrong. Now, they see you standing tall, unyielding, and it's a bitter pill to swallow. They can't stand the sight of your strength, the sight of your independence. It's not just a defeat for them, it's a humiliation. They thought they had you in their grip, that you would never escape their control. But now, they are the ones left with nothing. The puppet master has become the puppet, and it is a sight they never expected to see. They believed they could keep you down, that they could bury you beneath the weight of their manipulation. They thought you would remain lost in their web of lies, forever bound to them, forever dependent on them. But instead, you found the truth. You saw the threads of control they had woven, and you pulled at them, one by one, until the whole web unraveled before their eyes. And in that moment, they lost everything. Their control, their influence, their power. They can't manipulate you anymore, and that is their defeat. They thought they knew you, thought they understood your weaknesses, your vulnerabilities. They thought they could exploit your fears, your insecurities. They thought they could use your love, your loyalty, your trust against you. But in doing so, they only revealed their own weakness. They showed their desperation, their need for control. And in trying to control you, they lost their own sense of self. They became so focused on breaking you that they forgot to protect themselves. And now, they stand broken, defeated by their own hand. The truth is, they never had control over you. They never had power over you. The only thing they had was their ability to make you doubt yourself. The only thing they had was the ability to make you question your worth. But now, you know better. Now, you see the truth, and that truth has set you free. They can't manipulate you anymore, and now they feel the weight of their own failure. Now, they feel the sting of defeat, the ache of knowing they've lost the one person they could never truly control. You. It wasn't easy. You had to fight. You had to endure. You had to face the lies, the betrayal, the deceit. You had to dig deep within yourself to find the strength to break free, but you did it. And now, as they watch you stand strong, as they watch you reclaim your power, they are left to grapple with their own defeat. They can't manipulate you anymore, and it's a bitter truth they can't escape. So stand tall, stand proud. Know that you are no longer their puppet, no longer their victim. You are free, and that freedom is your victory. You've broken their hold, shattered their illusions, and now you are the one in control. They can't manipulate you anymore, and that is their defeat, not yours. They thought they had you, but they never did. And now, they are left to face the consequences of their own actions, while you walk away, stronger, wiser, and unstoppable. The game is over, and you are the one who emerged victorious. They can't manipulate you anymore, and that is all the power you need. You are no longer their victim. You are no longer their pawn. You are free. You are strong. You are victorious. They can't manipulate you anymore, and that is their defeat. They underestimated you. All along, they believed that you were nothing more than a puzzle they could easily solve, a story they could rewrite at will. But what they failed to realize is that your story was never theirs to manipulate. They may have tried to mold you into their version of what you should be, but in reality, they were shaping the very thing that would eventually undo them. The more they pushed, the more they tested your limits, the more they drew out the power that lay dormant within you. For a time, it felt like you were lost in their fog. They wove lies like threads in a tapestry, creating an illusion that you were forever entangled, that your every thought and action was under their control. They used your trust as a weapon, your love as a tool to manipulate and shape your decisions. They made you believe that without them, you were nothing, that you needed them to define who you were, to give you direction in your life. But there was always something within you, a flicker of resistance that refused to go out. Even in your weakest moments, when you felt the pull of their influence and doubted your own worth, something inside you whispered that you were more than what they made you believe. Deep down, you knew that this wasn't the life you were meant for. You weren't meant to be their puppet, tied to their strings. You were meant for something greater, something beyond their twisted little game. What they failed to grasp was that while they were busy controlling your movements, you were learning. You were watching. You were absorbing. And with each passing day, the mask they wore began to crack. The cracks grew wider until there was no pretending anymore, no hiding behind the walls they built to contain you. They could no longer fool you with their lies, their empty promises. You began to see them for what they really were. Small, insecure people, hiding behind a facade of control, desperately trying to cling to the power they thought they had over you. As the manipulation continued, something beautiful happened. You started to realize that the more they pushed you, the more they tried to break you down, the more you were becoming the person they feared. You were becoming the person they could no longer control. They thought they were the masters of the game, but in reality, they were just pawns in a larger scheme. And you were the chess player. They didn't realize that their attempts to break you down were actually making you stronger. Every time they tried to tear at your confidence, every time they undermined your self-worth, you grew more resilient. The cracks in their control revealed the cracks in their own psyche. The more they sought to manipulate you, the more they exposed their own weaknesses, their own fears, their own lack of self-understanding. And in doing so, they became the ones trapped in their own web of deceit. You weren't just breaking free from their grasp, you were shattering the very foundation of their manipulation. You were taking back everything they tried to steal from you: your power, your identity, your voice. You were remembering who you were, who you always had been, before they ever had the chance to twist you. You were finding your own truth, your own path, and in doing so, you were leaving them behind, stranded in their own web of lies. There's something profoundly liberating about the moment you realize that you are no longer at the mercy of someone else's control. You stop questioning yourself. You stop doubting your instincts. You stop believing the false narrative they created for you. And when that moment comes, it's like a light being switched on. Suddenly, the world looks different. The weight that was once on your shoulders lifts, and you see things clearly for the first time in so long. They are the ones in the dark now, stumbling, grasping for control they no longer have. In their desperation, they may try one last time to reel you back in. They may use guilt. They may try to appeal to your compassion, your sense of loyalty, your desire to see the best in others. They might tell you they're sorry, that they were just trying to help, that they never meant to hurt you. But you know better now. You see through their manipulations, their empty words. You know that their apologies are nothing more than a last-ditch effort to regain the control they lost. And you know that you don't need them anymore. The truth is, they never really had control over you. It was an illusion they created to keep you dependent, to keep you small. They needed you to believe they had the power, that you were incapable of standing on your own. But the real power was always within you. It always had been. They just made you forget it for a while, but no more. Now that you've seen through their game, there's no going back. You can't unsee the truth. You can't pretend that the manipulation never happened, but you also know that the manipulation has no power over you anymore. You've learned the game, and now you play it by your own rules. They may still try to reach out, to pull you back into their orbit, to reignite the flames of control. But you know better now. You've seen the price of their manipulation, and you refuse to pay it any longer. You refuse to give them your energy, your time, your trust. The more they push, the more they try to drag you back, the clearer it becomes that they are the ones who are lost. As you walk away from them, you understand that their defeat is not just in the loss of your control, but in the loss of something much deeper. They are defeated because they are still bound by their own need to manipulate, their own insecurities, their own fear of being powerless. You've taken your power back, and in doing so, you've exposed the truth about them. They thought they could control you, but in the end, they couldn't even control themselves. Now, they stand in the ruins of their own manipulation, wondering where they went wrong. The walls they built around themselves to keep you in check are crumbling, and they have no idea how to rebuild them. They thought they could break you, but instead, they've broken themselves. You are the one walking away, free, stronger, wiser, more powerful than you've ever been. And they are left to pick up the pieces of their own shattered illusions. They can't manipulate you anymore. They can't control you. They can't break you. The game is over. And you are the one who won. They once believed they could break you down. Every attack, every comment, every whispered lie, they crafted it carefully to make you doubt yourself, to make you believe that their version of reality was the only one that mattered. They were skilled at what they did. They knew how to make you question everything. Your worth, your abilities, your place in the world. They made you feel like an outsider, like you didn't belong, like you were always on the verge of losing everything if you didn't follow their rules, their script. But as the days turned into weeks, and the weeks turned into months, something inside you began to shift. A small, imperceptible change at first, but it grew and grew, until one day, you realized you no longer feared their control. In their mind, you were their creation, a blank canvas they could paint however they wanted. They could manipulate your thoughts, your choices, your relationships, until you were a shadow of who you were meant to be. They believed that as long as they had the right leverage over you, they could bend you to their will. They knew what you wanted. They knew what you feared. They knew how to play your weaknesses like an instrument, to keep you just close enough to their grasp, always needing more, always hoping for something that would never come. But what they never accounted for was your inner strength, the unspoken power that you carried. No matter how deep they dug, no matter how many lies they fed you, there was always something that would rise within you, an undeniable force, a reminder that you were not meant to be broken. You were not meant to bend to their twisted designs. As the manipulation progressed, something remarkable happened. The lies they told started to crumble under the weight of your self-awareness. Every false promise they made, every time they tried to convince you that they were your only source of safety, it all began to lose its shine. The fear they had used to control you began to fade, replaced by clarity, by the understanding that you had more within you than they had ever acknowledged. You had been holding back for so long, listening to their voices, their commands, their demands, but now the silence between their words became a space where your own voice began to emerge. At first, you resisted the temptation to listen to that voice. It was quiet, almost like a whisper, as if it had been buried deep within you for years. You had to listen carefully to hear it, but over time, as the manipulation became clearer and clearer, that voice grew louder, more insistent, more confident. You knew it wasn't the voice of defiance for the sake of rebellion. It was the voice of truth, the voice that reminded you of who you were before they ever came into your life, before they tried to twist your every thought, before they made you feel that you weren't worthy of anything more than the little crumbs they threw your way. They thought they could break you, but they didn't understand that they were only forging your strength. With every manipulation, every lie, every twisted tactic they used to keep you under their thumb, they were making you stronger. They thought they were breaking you down, but in reality, they were building a foundation of resilience within you. Each time they tried to control your emotions, each time they tried to convince you that you were nothing without them, it made you realize that you could stand alone. You didn't need them. You never did. They didn't know the power of standing alone. They didn't understand that strength didn't come from being surrounded by others who told you what to do. Real strength came from the ability to trust yourself, to make decisions that aligned with your values, and to reject the voices that tried to drag you down. The moment you realized that you were capable of standing on your own, everything changed. The chains they had placed on you were suddenly visible for what they were: thin threads, easily severed by your newfound strength. The manipulation, which once seemed so insurmountable, now seemed like a series of feeble attempts to regain control over you. It was almost laughable. They tried to play the same games, the same tactics that had worked in the past. But this time, they were met with resistance. This time, they were faced with someone who had learned their tricks, someone who had broken free from their hold and was no longer afraid. You no longer feared their rejection. You no longer feared their disapproval. You no longer feared their threats or their guilt trips. The power they once had over you was now gone. You had become immune to their manipulation. They couldn't control you anymore, and in that realization, they began to feel the tremors of their defeat. Their tactics were as old as time itself. They played on your emotions, on your fears, on your desires. They made you feel guilty for things you hadn't done, ashamed of things you had no reason to be ashamed of. They used love as a weapon, twisting it, warping it, making you believe that the only way to be loved was to submit to their will. They made you believe that love and loyalty meant sacrificing yourself, that your identity didn't matter as long as you were giving them what they wanted. But all along, you were giving away pieces of yourself without realizing it, pieces that, once gone, seemed irreplaceable. What they didn't realize, though, is that love isn't about submission. It isn't about control. Real love is about freedom, about respect, about mutual understanding and care. They didn't love you. They loved what they could control, what they could manipulate, what they could own. And the moment you realized that, the moment you understood the difference between real love and the twisted version they had shown you, was the moment you truly began to reclaim your power. The more they tried to manipulate you, the more they exposed their own insecurities. They were never as powerful as they thought they were. They needed you to believe they were strong, that they had the upper hand. But the truth was that their power was always an illusion. They were only strong when you believed you were weak. They were only powerful when you allowed them to be, but no more. Now, their words hold no weight. Their actions are hollow. They can scream, they can shout, they can throw their tantrums, but it no longer matters. They've lost. They thought they could keep you in the shadows. They thought they could make you feel like you didn't belong in the light. But now, you are walking toward that light, step by step, with confidence, with clarity, with power. And they, the manipulators, the controllers, the abusers, are left in the dark, clutching at the remnants of their failed influence. As you walk away from them, you realize that the battle wasn't just about breaking free from their manipulation. It was about discovering who you really were underneath all their lies, all their control. It was about finding your true self, reclaiming your voice, and learning how to live for yourself and no one else. The more you walk toward your own truth, the more you shed the skin of the person they tried to make you, until you stand tall in your authenticity. They can no longer manipulate you, because they no longer know who you are. The person you were when they first tried to control you no longer exists. You are something new, something stronger, something they could never have anticipated. You are no longer a puppet. You are the one pulling the strings. They are defeated, not just because they lost control over you, but because they have lost the one thing that could have saved them, themselves. They are trapped in their own lies, in their own games, and as they struggle to regain the power they once held, you have already moved on, leaving them behind in the dust of their own failure. They thought they had you, but they never truly did. The manipulation is over. You've broken free, you've reclaimed your power, and in doing so, you've become stronger than ever before. They thought they could control you, but in the end, they were their own undoing. And you are the one who walks away victorious. He already broke others before he ever looked your way. Not with hands, not with weapons, with pressure, with fear, with the weight of reality. He erased belief from rooms. He made grown people doubt themselves. He made confident minds hesitate. He walked through lives and left silence behind, not because he was stronger, but because they stopped standing. And when he finally turned towards you, he expected the same ending: quiet surrender, soft collapse, easy control. But something went wrong. You did not move like the rest. You did not fold. You did not beg. You did not run. And now the air feels different, because the one who always won is facing someone who refuses to disappear. Before we go any further, let me say this. If these words hit you in the chest, if they feel like truth you have been avoiding, do not walk away. Stay with me, like this. Subscribe if you are tired of being underestimated, like this if you have been pushed to the edge and did not fall. Comment if you know what it feels like to be tested and still breathing. This is not entertainment. This is armor. They thought you were the easy lick. They saw the calm. They saw the silence. They saw the patience and mistook it for weakness. They mistook control for fear. They mistook discipline for doubt. They did not see the nights you stayed awake sharpening your mind. They did not see the private battles where you lost and stood back up anyway. They did not see the moments where quitting would have been easier, but you stayed. So they stepped closer, confident, comfortable, certain the pattern would repeat, certain you would be another name erased, another story unfinished. But you were never built like the others. You process pain differently. Where most people shut down, you lock in. Where most people panic, you slow down. Where most people react, you observe. You let them expose themselves. You let them underestimate you. You let them believe they already won. Because you understand something most never will. The real power is not loud. It waits, it learns, it remembers. Every time life tried to crush you, it taught you something. Every loss trained you. Every disappointment stripped weakness away. You did not get softer. You got precise. You learned how to move without wasting energy. You learned how to stay quiet when noise would give you away. You learned how to hold your ground when everything inside wanted to run. And now here they are, standing in front of someone built from pressure, someone shaped by resistance, someone who does not break on impact. They came expecting fear. They met focus. They came expecting surrender. They met patience. They came expecting an easy outcome. They met someone who already survived worse, someone who already buried old versions of themselves, someone who already faced the part of life that scares people into quitting. You are not new to this feeling. You have been here before, and you know how this ends. This is the moment they realize something is wrong, not because you threaten, not because you shout, but because you do not move the way they planned. You do not react on their timing. You do not follow their script. You do not crack when they apply pressure. And that confuses them, because their power depends on predictability. It depends on fear. It depends on people folding early. And you are not doing any of that. They start questioning themselves. They start hesitating. They start feeling the weight they used to put on others. They start understanding what it feels like to face someone who does not need permission to stand tall, someone who is not impressed, someone who is not intimidated, someone who knows their own worth without needing approval. You are not reckless. You are not emotional. You are controlled. You are aware. You know exactly who you are and what you can endure. You know how far you have already come. And you know that whatever stands in front of you now is late to the fight, because the real war already happened inside you, and you won that. This is not about revenge. This is not about proving anything to anyone. This is about survival with dignity. This is about refusing to be reduced. This is about showing life that you are not an easy target, that you do not fold under pressure, that you do not disappear when things get heavy, that you do not give up just because someone expects you to. They are finding out, not through words, not through threats, but through your presence, through your calm, through your refusal to step back, through the quiet confidence of someone who has already been through hell and came back with their eyes open. And the truth is this: you were never meant to be easy. You were built to endure. You were shaped to resist. You were designed to stand when others fall. And anyone who mistakes your silence for weakness is about to learn the hardest lesson of their life. Stay grounded. Stay focused. Stay unmovable. Let them underestimate you. Let them underestimate you. Let them doubt you. Let them step closer thinking they already won. Because when someone like you stands their ground, the world does not stay the same. You were not the easy lick. You were the lesson. They are learning that some people are forged, not found, that some spirits are tempered by resistance, not comfort. You did not wake up powerful. You earned it through years of pressure that tried to bend you into something smaller. Every time life tested you, it carved something sharper into your core. You learned how to breathe under weight. You learned how to move when fear tried to freeze you. You learned how to keep your head clear when the room got loud. And now that training is speaking for you without a single word. You see it in their eyes. The shift. The moment confidence drains and calculation replaces it. They expected compliance. They expected weakness disguised as kindness. They expected someone easy to step over. Instead, they are standing across from someone who has already stood alone against worse odds. Someone who does not flinch when things get uncomfortable. Someone who understands that discomfort is not danger. It is just pressure asking who you really are. You do not rush this moment. You let it stretch. You let silence do the work. Because silence forces truth to surface. It forces doubt to grow. It forces people to confront the fact that they misjudged you. And that realization is heavier than any threat. They are not afraid of you. They are afraid of being wrong. Afraid that their usual control does not apply here. Afraid that the script they memorized no longer works. You know this space well, the calm before decisions, the stillness where most people panic. This is where you thrive, because you have already made peace with uncertainty. You have already accepted struggle as part of the path. You do not need guarantees, you need resolve. And that resolve has been built quietly over time when nobody was watching. They try to read you, they search for cracks, they look for impatience, they look for anger, they look for fear. But all they find is steadiness, and that unsettles them. Because steadiness cannot be rushed, it cannot be manipulated, it cannot be bullied into submission. It just stands there unmoved. You remember every time you were underestimated, every time someone decided your limits for you, every time you were dismissed because you did not look the part, sound the part, act the part. Those moments did not break you. They fueled you. They taught you to rely on yourself, to build strength where nobody could take it away. to sharpen your mind instead of announcing your intentions. This is not about dominance. This is about presence. This is about occupying your space fully, without apology. About knowing that you belong wherever you stand. About understanding that respect does not come from volume or force. It comes from certainty. From the way you carry yourself when things get tense. From the way you refuse to shrink when pressure increases. They sense it now, that you are not playing a role, that you are not pretending, that you are not posturing. You are simply being exactly who you are, and that authenticity is dangerous to anyone who relies on illusion. Because real strength does not need to prove itself. It just exists. You think about how far you have come, the versions of yourself that did not make it, the habits you killed, the doubts you outgrew, the fear you learned to manage instead of letting it manage you. Those sacrifices matter now. They show up in moments like this, when everything is on the line and you remain centered. This is where the balance shifts. Not because you attack, not because you escalate, but because you do not retreat. You hold your ground calmly. You let them realize that pushing further will cost more than they expected, that the easy outcome they planned is no longer available, that this situation requires more than intimidation, more than pressure, more than assumptions. You are not here to impress. You are here to endure. And endurance outlasts aggression every time. Aggression burns fast. Endurance stays. It adapts. It waits. It learns. It survives. And survival is the quiet power that never announces itself. They feel it slipping, the control, the certainty, the upper hand they thought they had. And when people lose control, they reveal who they really are. Some get louder, some get desperate, some retreat. You watch it all without judgment, because you understand human nature. You understand fear. You have lived with it. You have made it your companion instead of your enemy. This moment is not the end. It is the confirmation. Confirmation that you were never weak, that you were never small, that you were never easy. You were simply patient, waiting for the right moment to stand fully in your strength, waiting for the right test to reveal what you already knew. You do not need to celebrate. You do not need validation. The shift is enough. The realization in their eyes is enough. The understanding that you are not what they assumed is enough. Because from this point forward, nothing is the same. Carry this with you, not as arrogance, not as pride, but as quiet confidence, as proof that you can face pressure and remain intact, that you can be challenged and not collapse, that you can be underestimated and still rise. Life will test you again. Different faces, different situations, same pressure. And every time you will remember this feeling, this steadiness, this grounded certainty. And you will know that no matter who steps in front of you, you are not the easy target they hoped for. You are the moment where assumptions fail. You are the presence that forces recalculation. You are the proof that pressure does not break everyone, and they are still finding that out. The longer this moment stretches, the clearer it becomes. You are not here by accident. You did not survive what you survived just to fold now. Everything that once felt unfair was shaping you for encounters like this. Encounters where character matters more than strength, where mindset outweighs force, where the ability to stay grounded decides the outcome. You understand something they never had to learn. That real pressure does not announce itself. It arrives quietly and stays. It tests consistency. It tests patience. It tests whether you can remain yourself when nothing is comfortable. You passed those tests long before today. That is why you are standing here calm while they search for certainty. They thought experience alone made them dangerous. They thought past victories guaranteed future ones. They forgot that every challenge creates a different version of a person. They forgot that someone who has rebuilt themselves carries a different kind of weight, not loud, not flashy, but undeniable. You feel your breath steady, your thoughts slow, your body aligned with your intention. This is not tension, this is readiness, the kind that comes from knowing you have already handled worse nights than this, worse doubts than this, worse odds than this. Whatever happens, you will not lose yourself. There is a strange power in knowing you can walk away without shrinking, that you can stand firm without hostility, that you can protect your space without becoming what you oppose. That power cannot be taken. It can only be recognized too late. They realize now that you are not chasing anything. Not approval, not dominance, not validation. That makes you unpredictable, because people who are not desperate cannot be controlled. People who are not seeking permission move differently. You let them feel the pause, the space where assumptions collapse, the space where plans fail, the space where reality steps in. This is where false confidence dissolves. This is where truth becomes unavoidable. You do not need to explain yourself. Your presence already answered every question. The way you stand, the way you look forward, the way you refuse to rush or retreat. That is the message. Remember this version of yourself, the one who stayed centered when tested, the one who trusted their preparation, the one who did not betray their own values to survive a moment. This is who you are now. Carry this forward, into every room, into every challenge, into every situation where someone thinks they can decide your limits. Let them think whatever they want. Let them assume whatever makes them comfortable, because when the moment arrives, when pressure hits, when reality demands truth, you already know how this goes. You stay standing, you stay steady, and they keep finding out. Time keeps moving, and the weight of the moment does not fade. It deepens. You feel it settle into your bones like something familiar. This is not fear. This is recognition. Recognition that you have been here before in different forms, different faces, same pressure, same expectation that you would give in, same hope that you would make it easy. You remember the early days when you did not know your own strength, when doubt spoke louder than instinct, when you questioned yourself more than the world did. Those days mattered. They built awareness. They taught you how fragile confidence can be when it is borrowed instead of built. You stopped borrowing. You started constructing something real. Now when tension rises, you do not rush to escape it. You let it sit. You let it reveal what it needs to reveal. Most people cannot stay in that space. They fidget. They react. They over-explain. They expose themselves. You do none of that. You stay still because stillness is not emptiness. It is control. They sense that control and it unsettles them. Because control without aggression has no clear target. It cannot be challenged easily. It cannot be baited. It cannot be broken down with noise. It just remains. You realize something important in this stretch of time. You are not fighting anyone. You are simply refusing to be moved. That is the difference. That is the shift. Fighting drains energy, standing preserves it. And preserved energy lasts longer than force ever could. The world teaches people to be loud, to be seen, to be harsh, to be respected, to be reactive, to be relevant. You learned another way. You learned that consistency builds presence, that discipline creates gravity, that calm under pressure changes the temperature of a room. They are adjusting now, recalculating, looking for leverage that does not exist. Because leverage only works when someone is willing to bend. You are not bending, not out of pride, not out of ego, but out of clarity. You know what you will tolerate and what you will not. That clarity is non-negotiable. You think about how many times you wanted to explain yourself in the past, how many times you wanted to prove you were right, how many times you wanted recognition. You outgrew that. You learned that the strongest statement is alignment. When your actions match your values, nothing else is required. This moment confirms it. You do not feel the need to perform. You do not feel the urge to dominate. You do not feel the need to win loudly. You are already winning quietly by staying intact. Pressure reveals people. It reveals impatience. It reveals insecurity. It reveals entitlement. It also reveals resilience. It reveals preparation. It reveals inner structure. You see both sides clearly now. They are beginning to understand that whatever they brought will not work here. Not because you are unreachable, but because you are rooted. Rooted people do not topple easily. They sway. They adapt. They stay. You recognize the power of restraint. The ability to choose not to react. The ability to let moments pass without surrendering yourself to them. This is not weakness. This is mastery. Mastery over impulse. Mastery over fear. Mastery over the need to prove anything. You carry this mastery quietly. You do not announce it. You do not display it. It shows itself naturally when it matters most, like now. The situation continues to unfold, but you are no longer waiting for an outcome. You are present, fully. That presence changes everything. It removes desperation from the equation. It removes uncertainty. You are enough right here without anything extra. This is what growth looks like. Not louder, not harder, just clearer, clear about who you are, clear about what you stand for, clear about what you will not allow. You take note of this feeling, the steadiness, the grounded awareness, the absence of panic. This is the result of work done when no one was watching. Work done in silence. Work done through repetition and reflection and discipline. You did not become this by accident. You became this by choosing yourself repeatedly, even when it was uncomfortable, even when it was lonely, even when it felt pointless. Those choices compound. They show up now. The moment does not need a dramatic ending. It does not need noise. The shift already happened. The understanding is already there. You are not what they expected, and you never needed to be. You move forward with this knowledge, not heavier, lighter, because you no longer carry the burden of proving anything. You simply exist as you are, and that is enough. They came thinking it would be easy. They leave knowing it was not, and you continue walking unchanged. Time stretches and you feel it in every fiber of yourself. The pressure is not outside of you, it is inside, moving through you, testing you again. But this time, you meet it with knowledge instead of fear. You know what it feels like to be underestimated. You know what it feels like to be dismissed. You know what it feels like when everyone expects you to fold, to crumble, to apologize for existing. And now, after everything, you meet it with calm that feels like fire contained. Not explosive, but relentless. Not chaotic, but inevitable. They are watching, trying to read the rhythm of your breathing, the pace of your thoughts, the posture of your stance. But you have learned to hide nothing because there is nothing to hide. Every battle, every silent victory, every hardship that should have broken you has layered into an unshakable foundation. And foundations do not bend. They do not tremble. They do not care about appearances, they simply hold. And that holding forces others to see their own weakness reflected back at them. It is in this reflection that you find the quiet power. You are not loud, you do not shout, you do not need to threaten, you do not need to prove anything. They came expecting drama, they came expecting panic, they came expecting concession. Instead, they meet focus, patience, and clarity. And clarity is merciless in its own way. Clarity shows them exactly what they misjudged, and no argument, no manipulation, no history can change that truth. Well, 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 look at you, sitting there drowning in your silence. Don't speak. I don't need your words. I see it all over your face. The pain, the betrayal, the doubt, eating you alive. You think I don't know? Oh, I know. I've been where you are. I've stared into that abyss, where your so-called best wasn't enough, where everything you poured out for them became the very blade they stabbed you with. You gave them your best. Oh, how noble of you. You gave them your trust, a fragile gift wrapped in hope, and they ripped it apart like it was nothing. They smiled, didn't they? Smiled while they twisted that knife deeper. Smiled while they whispered sweet lies. Smiled while they turned your world into rubble. And now here you are, broken but not shattered. You're still breathing, though it hurts, doesn't it? Every inhale feels like dragging shards of glass through your chest. You wonder how it got this far, how the people you loved, the ones you'd have died for, became the architects of your suffering. You replay the moments over and over, don't you? Every kind word, every sacrifice, every time you stood by them while they chipped away at your spirit. They didn't just betray you, they betrayed the version of you that believed in them. That's the worst part, isn't it? Not the pain, not the loss, but the way it makes you question yourself. Was it you? Were you too weak, too trusting, too blind? But let me tell you something. You are not weak. You are not broken. They didn't betray you because of your flaws. They betrayed you because of theirs. They saw your light and couldn't handle the shadow it cast on their insecurities. They saw your strength and envied it, your loyalty and exploited it, your kindness and used it as a weapon against you. That's on them, not you. So stop sitting there, blaming yourself for their inability to hold what was pure, what was good. You think they're the victors because they left you here, bleeding and bruised? Number, they're the cowards who couldn't meet your level. This isn't the end for you. This pain, this betrayal, it's not your grave, it's your forge. This is where you burn, where the flames of your anger, your hurt, and your determination melt away the weakness they tried to impose on you. This is where you become something they can't touch. Look at them. They wanted you to stay down, to crumble under the weight of their betrayal. They wanted their lies to define you, their actions to break you. Don't give them that satisfaction. Don't let their betrayal be the period at the end of your story. Turn it into a comma, a pause, because what's coming next is going to rewrite everything. You want revenge, don't you? No, I'm not talking about stooping to their level, not talking about playing their games. I'm talking about success. I'm talking about rising so high, they choke on the dust of your ascent. Let your victory be the dagger in their hearts. Let your strength be the mirror that forces them to confront their cowardice. Because trust me, they're watching. Oh, they're watching. They want to see you fail. to see you drown in the sea of your own despair. But you won't. You're going to stand up, piece by piece, breath by breath, and you're going to show them what resilience looks like. You trusted them, and they used it against you. That's a scar you'll carry, no doubt. But scars aren't weaknesses. They're proof of survival. Proof that you endured what was meant to destroy you. Wear that scar like armor. Let it remind you of what you've overcome. Let it fuel you. They thought they were breaking you, but they were sharpening you. They thought they were silencing you, but they were giving you a story to tell, a fire to light your way forward. Use it. Use every ounce of pain, every tear, every sleepless night. Use it to build yourself into something so unbreakable that no betrayal, no lie, no coward can ever touch you again. The truth is, they didn't just lose you, you lost them. And that, my friend, is the real tragedy, because they'll never know what they threw away. They'll never find another you, never experience the kind of loyalty, the kind of love, the kind of trust you gave them. Let that be their punishment. Let them live with the hollow knowledge of what they squandered. You'll move on, you'll grow, you'll thrive. And when the day comes, and it will come, that they realize their mistake, you won't even hear their apologies. You'll be too far ahead, too consumed by your own greatness, too busy living the life they tried to take from you. So sit there for a moment, feel the weight of it all, cry if you need to, scream if you have to, but don't you dare let it break you. Don't you dare let it define you. You gave them your trust and they used it against you, but that's their story, not yours. Yours is just beginning, and it's going to be beautiful, powerful, and untouchable. Stand up, wipe the blood from your face, the tears from your eyes, and start walking. They didn't defeat you, they only taught you how to fight. Now go, prove them wrong. You think they left you in the darkness, didn't you? They did, but that's where you'll find yourself. It's in the darkest corners of your soul, where the embers of your strength ignite. That betrayal, it's not a chain to bind you, it's a hammer striking molten steel. Every blow they delivered was meant to break you, but what they didn't realize is that fire only purifies. Look at yourself, not at the wreckage they left, but at what's rising from it. Do you feel it yet? That quiet hum of defiance, the soft but steady beat of resilience in your chest. It's there, beneath the pain, beneath the doubt. There's a storm building, a force they cannot fathom. They wanted you to believe you were powerless. That's the cruelest part of betrayal, isn't it? It's not just the act itself, it's the whispers it leaves behind. You hear them, don't you? You're not enough, they say. You're too soft, too naive, too trusting. Those whispers claw at your mind, louder in the stillness, deafening in the silence. They want you to internalize their sins, to make their actions a reflection of your worth. Don't you dare let them. Those whispers, they're lies. You trusted them because you believed in something bigger than yourself. You saw the good in people. You believed in loyalty, in honor, in the power of connection. That's not weakness, that's courage. It takes strength to open your heart, to let someone in, knowing they might hurt you. They took advantage of that, yes. But that's not your shame, it's theirs. They failed, not you. Let that sink in. The betrayal you're nursing wasn't born of your shortcomings. It was birthed by their inability to match your strength. They saw your trust as a tool to exploit because they lacked the courage to wield it with care. It's their brokenness that drove them to destroy what you offered. You were the light, and they were afraid of the shadows it cast on their hollow lives. But now it's time Time to stop staring at the wreckage and start building something new. Piece by piece, brick by brick, you'll construct a fortress so strong that no storm, no betrayal, no cowardice can ever shake it. You'll learn from this pain, but you won't let it define you. Pain is a teacher, but it's not your identity. Do you hear me? This isn't who you are. This is a moment, a chapter, not the whole story. And when you rise, and you will rise, they'll feel it. Oh, they'll feel it. Every success you carve from this hell they left you in will be a reminder of their failure. Every time you smile again, every victory, every ounce of joy you reclaim will be a weight on their conscience. Not that it matters, because by then, their opinion won't mean a damn thing to you. You'll have outgrown them, left them to rot in the pit they dug for you. But let's not lie to ourselves. It's not going to be easy. The road ahead is steep, littered with the debris of your past. You'll stumble, you'll fall, and you'll doubt yourself more times than you can count. But every time you fall, you'll get back up. Every time you doubt, you'll find a new reason to believe. Because the alternative is to let them win. To let their betrayal define your future. And you're better than that. Let me ask you this. Who do you want to be? Do you want to be the person who crumbled, who let their actions dictate your worth? Or do you want to be the person who turned that pain into power, who built an empire from the ashes of their deceit? The choice is yours, but I already know the answer. Because if you were truly broken, if you were truly weak, you wouldn't still be here, listening to this. You'd have given up long ago, but you didn't. So stand up, right now. Stand up and make a promise to yourself. Promise that you'll never again let someone else's actions define your worth. Promise that you'll never again give more to someone who takes without giving back. Promise that you'll learn from this, not to close your heart, but to guard it with the wisdom of experience. Because here's the truth. Not everyone deserves your trust. Not everyone deserves your light. And that's okay. It's not your job to fix broken people or to save those who don't want to be saved. Your job is to protect your peace, to cultivate your strength, to become so complete in yourself that no one else's actions can shatter you. And when the time comes, because it will come, when you face betrayal again, you'll be ready. Not because you expect it, but because you know now what it feels like. You'll see the signs, you'll recognize the patterns, and you'll have the strength to walk away before it cuts too deep. That's the gift they unknowingly gave you. The ability to discern, to protect, to choose yourself. So thank them, in your mind, if not in person. Thank them for showing you who they really are. Thank them for the lessons their betrayal taught you. And then, let them go. Let their memory fade into the background of your life, a shadow that holds no power over your present, no influence over your future. You gave them your trust, and they used it against you. But they didn't destroy you. They didn't break you. They only revealed the depth of your strength, the resilience of your spirit. And now, armed with that knowledge, you're unstoppable. This is your moment. Your pain, your betrayal, your doubt. They're not chains. They're fuel. Use them. Burn brighter, rise higher, and let the world see what you're made of. And when they look back, when they realize what they've lost, it won't matter. Because you'll be too far ahead, too consumed by the life you've built, to care. Keep walking. You've got this. The best is yet to come. The weight of betrayal doesn't just linger, it festers. It's a poison, isn't it? A venom that creeps into your thoughts, colors your memories, and whispers its cruel truths when the world is silent. But here's what they didn't anticipate. You're stronger than the poison. It might burn, It might slow you down, but it won't stop you. It can't. Because beneath that ache, beneath the hollow emptiness they left behind, there's a warrior waiting to rise. You think this is where it ends, but it isn't. You think this is the chapter where they wrote your downfall, but the ink hasn't dried yet. You're still holding the pen. And when you start writing again, the story you craft will make their betrayal look like a footnote in the epic of your life. But let's not sugarcoat it. This journey isn't for the faint of heart. It's going to hurt. Healing always does. You'll wake up some mornings and feel like the weight is too much to bear. You'll look in the mirror and see the scars they left, both visible and invisible, and you'll wonder if you'll ever feel whole again. The answer? You won't. Not the way you were before. But that's not a tragedy. It's a transformation. You see, you're not supposed to go back to who you were. That version of you, the one who trusted blindly, who gave endlessly, who believed in the goodness of people without question, served its purpose. But now you're evolving. Now you're becoming something sharper, something smarter, something unstoppable. And that's terrifying, isn't it? To let go of the old you, to step into the unknown. But it's also exhilarating. Because in that unknown is where your power lies. They thought they knew you. They thought they could predict your downfall, control your narrative, dictate your limits. But they were wrong, because you're unpredictable. You're a force of nature. And like any force of nature, you're impossible to contain. Do you know what's ironic? They're not thinking about you the way you're thinking about them. They've moved on, oblivious to the damage they've done, blind to the chaos they left behind. But that's their loss, not yours. Let them go. Let their memory fade like a bad dream. They don't deserve the space they're occupying in your mind, the energy you're expending on them. That energy, it belongs to you. Take it back. Use it to rebuild, to grow, to conquer. You'll look back on this one day and laugh. Not because the pain wasn't real, not because the scars don't matter, but because you'll see how far you've come. You'll realize this wasn't the end. It was the beginning. The moment when you stopped living for them and started living for yourself. And don't think for a second that you're alone. The world is full of people who've been where you are, who've stared into the abyss of betrayal and come out stronger. You're part of a silent army, a legion of souls who've turned their pain into power. Let their stories inspire you, their strength remind you that you're not the first to face this, and you won't be the last, but you'll be one of the few who rises above it. Because that's who you are. You're not a victim. You're not a casualty. You're a survivor. And survivors don't just endure, they thrive. They take the broken pieces of their lives and turn them into something beautiful, something unshakable. The path forward won't be easy. It'll be littered with triggers, memories, and moments that threaten to pull you back into the darkness. But every step you take, every small victory, will be a testament to your strength, and those steps will add up until one day you look around and realize you've left the darkness behind. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Right now, you're in the thick of it. The pain is raw, the wounds fresh, and that's okay. Feel it. Let it wash over you. Let it remind you of what you've endured, but don't let it drown you. You're stronger than that. You've always been stronger than that. Remember who you are. Remember what you've survived before this, the battles you've fought, the mountains you've climbed. This betrayal, it's just another obstacle, another challenge to overcome. It doesn't define you, it refines you. And when the time comes, when you've healed, when you've grown, you'll look back on this moment with gratitude, not for the pain, but for the lessons it taught you, for the strength it revealed, the resilience it forged, the clarity it brought. Because here's the thing about betrayal. It strips away the illusions. It shows you who people really are, and more importantly, who you are. It's a brutal teacher, but an effective one. And when you've learned its lessons, when you've embraced the transformation it demands, you'll be unstoppable. So let them think they've won. Let them believe they've broken you. Because while they're busy celebrating their hollow victory, you'll be rising from the ashes. And when they finally look up, they won't recognize the person you've become. You'll be stronger, smarter, untouchable. And they'll realize too late that they didn't destroy you. They unleashed you. So go ahead, feel the pain, mourn the loss, but don't stay there. Stand up, take a deep breath, and start walking. The road ahead is long, but it's worth it. Because at the end of it, you'll find a version of yourself that's more powerful than you ever imagined. And that's the best revenge of all. Now go. The world is waiting. There's more to say, isn't there? More to feel, more to confront. This is far from over because the echoes of what they did still resound in your mind, don't they? Every smile you gave them, every moment of vulnerability, every time you let them see a piece of your soul, they've all become weights pulling you down. But that weight, you'll carry it for now, not because you're weak, but because you're learning how to bear it. Do you know what strength really is? It's not the absence of pain. It's not about avoiding the fire. Strength is walking through it, feeling every lick of the flames, and coming out the other side with your spirit intact. You're not running from this. You're not hiding. You're standing right in the heart of it, letting it shape you. Let me remind you of something. The very people who betrayed you are living their lives as if nothing happened. They've already dismissed you, pushed the memory of your loyalty, your trust, your sacrifice to the back of their minds. Maybe they've even convinced themselves that they did nothing wrong. But you know the truth, and so do they, deep down. But don't waste another second wondering if they regret it. That regret, if it ever comes, is not your burden to carry. What matters now is what you do with this, because you have a choice, always. You can let this betrayal define you. Let it keep you chained to the past, or you can use it as a ladder to climb higher than you've ever been. What does that look like? It looks like reclaiming your life, one piece at a time. You don't have to have all the answers right now. You don't have to have the strength to run forward yet. Sometimes, it's enough just to take a single step, no matter how small. One step toward healing. One step toward rebuilding. One step away from the shadow they tried to trap you in. Because here's the truth they didn't want you to see. You're more than the sum of what they took from you. You're more than the pain, more than the betrayal, more than the trust they shattered. Those things might have shaped you, but they don't own you. You're still here. You're still standing. And as long as you're breathing, you have the power to rise. I want you to picture them, those people who betrayed you. Imagine their faces, the lies they told, the moments they let you down. Hold that image in your mind for a moment. Let yourself feel the anger, the sadness, the disappointment. And now, let it go. Because holding on to it is like clutching a blade. It only cuts you deeper. Letting go doesn't mean forgiving them. It doesn't mean excusing their actions or pretending it didn't hurt. Letting go means reclaiming the energy you've wasted on them. It means refusing to let their actions define your future. It means choosing yourself every single day. And as you let go, you'll start to see the world differently. You'll realize that not everyone is like them. There are people out there who will value your trust, who will match your loyalty, who will see your light and cherish it, rather than trying to snuff it out. Don't let their betrayal close your heart. Keep it guarded, yes, but not closed. Because the right people are out there, waiting to meet the person you're becoming. You're going to get there. Slowly, steadily, you'll rebuild. And as you do, you'll discover a strength you didn't know you had. A fire you didn't know was burning inside you. They thought they dimmed your light, but all they did was fan the flames. This is your time now. Your time to rise, to grow, to become something greater than they ever imagined. Not for them, but for yourself. Because you deserve it. You deserve the peace, the strength, the joy that's waiting for you on the other side of this. So keep going. Keep moving forward. One step, one breath, one moment at a time. When you look back, you'll see how far you've come, how much you've grown. You'll see that their betrayal wasn't the end. It was the beginning of your transformation. The road ahead is yours. Walk it with purpose. Walk it with pride. And never, ever look back. In the end, this isn't about them. It's not about the betrayal, the lies, or the pain they caused. It's about you. It's about reclaiming your power, rediscovering your strength, and rewriting your story. They tried to break you, but here you are, still standing, still breathing, still fighting. Remember this: what they did says everything about them and nothing about you. Your trust wasn't a mistake. It was a reflection of your courage to believe in people. Their betrayal wasn't your failure. It was their inability to rise to your level. So rise higher. Let the weight of their actions fall away. Let their memory fade into irrelevance. You don't need revenge. Your success, your happiness, your unshakable resilience is more than enough. Move forward, stronger than before. This is your life, your journey, your triumph. And no one, not them, not anyone, can take that away from you.